Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the MFGCast. This time, it's our 200th. I tell ya. Yep, see? It's just how it should be. Even after 200 episodes, I still can't talk. It's a fun thing. But this is gonna be a fun little episode. We've got some guests on. We're gonna do a random BS episode. We haven't done this in quite a few years, and we're also gonna give away some games. So if you have the gall, if you have the intestinal fortitude to stay around for the full hour, then games could be yours.
Games?
Yes, that's right. So, welcome. I'm Kurt.
This is D. Wyatt.
Oh my, sorry. Sorry, D. Wyatt. Sorry. I'm Tracy.
And we have some awesome guests for you. People that you probably know already because we've already talked to them, but they're our favorites, so we love to talk to them. We have Cassie from the Indie Game Report again.
Hello. And look, I have fancy mic this time.
Yay!
Oh, wait, can people see us visually, or is this just audio?
Yes, people can see you visually now.
So I can show things now.
Put it on the podcast, and then no one will know what you're talking about.
Dan's Big Cup.
That's right. Hashtag Dan's Big Cup. And we also have John from Legends of Tabletop. John, it's been a long time.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I mean, it's not like we didn't play Fear itself like a week ago.
Yeah, that's true. But I just meant like you actually being on our podcast.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
That's okay. Everybody's busy. I get how it is. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And we have another special guest, but I'm not going to tell you until that person is on. So you're just going to have to lay in suspense. Why would you lay in suspense?
I don't know, but is it suspenseful if you already tweeted it out that this other person was going to be here?
That is true.
I was going to say.
But if you don't know who this person is, then maybe it'll still be fun. Or maybe if you have really bad short-term memory like I do, maybe it'll be a surprise.
Are you going to be surprised? Do you remember who you invited?
No, actually I don't.
We had a pair of them on Legends a little while back.
Oh, really?
That's the hint.
Oh, gotcha. I get what you're saying. So we're just here to talk about random stuff. Does anybody have a topic that they want to, that's off the top of their head or something they've been burning to talk about?
I didn't go to the gym today. I feel kind of bad, but I mean, whatever.
I'm talking about game related, you dork.
Oh, nah, I got nothing.
But you should feel bad for that.
I didn't play any games at the gym recently. I feel bad about that.
That's a new type of gaming right there. Oh, I did 100 squats and then I played, Suro or whatever.
How well do you think it would go over if I was to go to my local gym, like bring a solo game? Like, either Friedman Freezes Friday or just like solo Terraforming Mars and like a box of donuts and a gallon of milk. Just plop myself down.
And you sat on the weight bench and did that the whole time.
Yeah.
That new game Maiden's Quest? I think you can play it in your hand, so you could just like bring a game and just play this game while working out in the gym. I think just like on leg day. You just sit and play this game while you're doing all the things. I think that could totally be the thing.
You could just do it while you're walking on the treadmill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
totally.
Like people read books, you could just play a game.
That's
brilliant.
Right.
Just don't fall.
Yeah.
But I really want to bring that gallon of milk and that box of donuts though. Like that's how I solo.
That makes me want to barf, Dan.
Yeah.
You'd have to bring
drink the milk that you're like, milk was a bad choice.
Exactly.
Gross.
You need a 2-liter of Mountain Dew and a bag of Doritos. That's
there
what
you
really
go.
need.
Yeah.
That sounds better.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where the party's at.
That's right. Gross. So I have a question for you, John. You guys run a Pathfinder game on your podcast, right?
We don't. We were doing 5th Ed D&D for a little bit. Jesse did Pathfinder for the Dragon Fisters. Pathfinder for the Dragon Fisters in its last iteration.
Okay, and you were on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So have you played the Pathfinder adventure card game at all?
I have not. I've seen
Really?
it. I haven't played it.
Yeah, that's funny because I was wondering about that because we played that the other day. And I was like, man, I'm pretty sure that John's played Pathfinder before. And I wonder if he's actually played the card game.
No. Does it play kind of like an RPG?
It's more of a dice solver than RPG, I would say. You can't.
Yeah, but dice are the dice are RPG dice, just like you would use in Pathfinder.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't make like morally good or bad choices in the card game. It's like open this door or don't.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah. Because you're always going. There's always 4 spots, and you're always, delving into it and stuff like that. And you're gaining items and allies and stuff like that. There are stories to it, and it just depends upon if you actually want to read the cards and you'd be like, okay, what's the story of this? That's what I've been doing kind of lately. I'm like, because I've been playing that with old podcast partner Mike, and I'm like, well, yeah, exactly, right.
How are
And
his brittle bones?
Oh, very brittle, sir, but very fine. So I've been saying like, let's read the words on it, because I'd really like to know what the story is, And that game, I don't know if Pathfinder is this way, but the card game sometimes can be real brutal, where it's like you like think you're gonna go in and you're just gonna be have a good time, but like you get wiped out pretty quickly. Like I think in the game that we've done, and we've just made it to the 3rd campaign on this. I think I've killed like 3 guys now. It's just like it's not like one of those things where it's like, okay, your guy gets hurt, you can heal him up and then you're good for later. Like if you run out of cards, you die. So it's like, oh well, I guess instead of rolling up a character, I just choose another character.
Is it like Pathfinder 101, kind of like Pathfinder for beginners?
It feels like it's an intro to that.
That's what it sounds like.
The big thing is like in the card game, it'll be like your it's weird. It kind of works like Savage Worlds because it's like your strength might be only a D4 if you're the wizard. And then like your constitution will be the D6. So it's not like normal Pathfinder where you roll a D20 and hope to make the check. It's like, I need to roll an 8 on a D6. Okay, this is already impossible. Somebody please boost me up.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
it's a little different like that.
Yeah, I feel like the dice are almost like your stats almost. Like you would have like in D&D and Pathfinder stuff like that. It's like, okay, my charisma is a 10.
Yeah.
So you get a D10 to roll it, even though it's kind of different or whatever. But then you can use different cards to boost you. Other people can kind of help out if they have the right thing. Or not.
It's kind of like the dice, like let you know what would be important to that person. Like the bigger the dice roll, the bigger the importance.
Yeah.
Because like when warriors attack, like they'll roll their strength dice and the weapon dice. And like when wizards cast spells, they'll roll like their either charisma if they're a warlock or intelligence plus the spell damage, things like that.
Interesting. And it's cooperative then, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yep. And it plays off of that too, where like sometimes it's like some characters like that, like say like a rogue, like I had a rogue elf, and it was like she does better if she's by herself somewhere. And there's other people where like if you're in the same spot, then you'd get a plus for whatever. And even some of the bad guys, it's like if you like, we even played this for our last campaign. We played the end of the campaign, the last bad guy or bad girl or whatever. She had this thing where it's
baddie.
like, yeah, the bad person. So it was one of those things where it's like both of you have to be in the same spot, otherwise she's going to be doing more bad crap to you. So it's like it almost makes you want to do it more. And even when you are in the same spot, sometimes it gives you a plus. I can't remember what the plus is, but it's like, if you're in the same spot, then if you fight somebody else and you fail, you might get hurt. But then it's the other guy can actually fight them too, even though it's not their turn.
And you're doing Rise of the Rune Lords, right? Still, right?
Yep. And Mike's gotten some, more decks and stuff like that, more character packs. And the character I have right now is a gunslinger. And it's like a leathery, like rat guy, and he is like, all my other guys and girls have been just like my elf was pretty good, but my other two, I had like a bard and he was awful, and I had another person and they were just like, I thought it would be cool to try it out, but I was like, they just literally with
Bard.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times with this game,
your elders.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, a lot of times with this game, we'll play it and we'll play like a scenario, and it'll take us about an hour to pass or fail. My character themselves helped beat 2 scenarios in the span of like 45 minutes, or like maybe even an hour. It was just like, holy crap, I love you. Where were you my whole life? You know.
Because think about it, like all those additional character packs have only come out like in the last year or two, and the Rise of the Rune Lords was like the very first edition of this game when they were still working out the kinks. Like, oh, this weapon damage is good enough. Now they're like, no, nobody knows. Like they need D10s. So you feel like you're so much better.
Let me flip it on you, Kurt. So, you know, since we're doing Fear itself, and you know, we're talking about like a card game based on a role playing game. How do you think? Which experience do you enjoy better? You know, just like pure role playing, or you know, the sort of the crunchiness of like a card dice game.
Yeah, excuse me. To tell you the truth, I love them both fairly equal, but I would probably put a story-driven RPG kind of above that, just because, you know, it's just, for me, it's just fun to kind of get out of your own headspace and trying to get into another character and stuff like that. The one thing that actually does bother me sometimes, though, and it bothers me with this Fear Itself campaign even too, is like a lot of times I do like to do the dice chucking, and so when that doesn't happen, I'm like, son of a, you know, I just want to do it. But you know, fortunately, with the Fear Itself campaign that we have, like our stories and the way we roleplay together go so well that it doesn't really affect me that much, where it's just like, well, we're just having such a darn good time. And it's like, man, I would rather be doing this anyway.
Yeah, well, we sometimes go a whole session and not roll any dice. It's kind of counterintuitive.
By the way, John, I got a question for you. I just want to bring this back for a minute. You mentioned earlier the Dragon Fisters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can assume this is a group of people who play D&D and are also immeasurably into all board games made by Alexander Pfister. Is that true?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Like they're doing Oh My Goods while they're creating their characters, things like that.
No, I don't even remember. I don't remember what their alternate title was at the time, or how they came about. We'd have to get Jesse to come on talk about it.
Only Dan asking that.
I just was wondering if the Fisties were starting new chapters, like in Fight Club, when you found out about the chapters in all the other cities, if the Fisties are spreading and we don't even know it. Like we started something bigger than either of us, Kurt. I'm your Tyler Durden.
Jeez. Oh, Cassie, you talk. Get us out of this madness.
I've got, what do I have to say? Oh, I brought up Gen Cant earlier. Is anyone doing anything this weekend for
it? Does regretting my career choice count?
Would start. What?
Does regretting my career choice count as playing in Gen Cant?
Is that a game? If you turn into a game, I think it counts.
I mean, it's Misery Work. I mean, if Agricola can be Misery Farm, I think Misery Work should count for something, right?
And we're all playing every day.
Yeah, right.
The game we're winning is actually losing.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I'm gonna be trying to get some stuff on throughout this weekend, but with work going as long as it is lately, it's like I get the window from like about 6 to 8:30 to try to get some games in.
Isn't that the worst? Like it's so hard sometimes when you have a game group to get everyone available at the same time. Even if you schedule it, then life just happens. And it's really hard, even for, you know, everybody's at Gen Con this weekend, so I guess that doesn't help if you're trying to like get a game group together and everyone's out of town. But do you ever think that's weird? Like friends leave and go to a convention to go and play games, but they could just like stay at home and play games at home.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, I'd probably just like take a staycation and play the games at home, because then I get to sleep in my bed.
Mm-hmm.
My cat.
About a year ago, there was a different local con that started up, and me and my friends were like, "Oh, let's check it out." So we bought the 3-day pass, and the first day was awful. And we were like, well, we already took time off of work. So what do you say we just say F this noise and stay at our place and play games for 48 hours? And that's what we ended up doing instead.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's always nice when that happens.
I just want that just one time. Because I never get a chance to play heavier games. You know, it's like you only get 2 hours or so. And so by the time you've set up, you know, after you've eaten dinner and everything's ready to go and you set up, you only have really an hour and a half to play. So
yeah,
you never get to play any heavy games. At least I don't. They have to devote like what, 4 hours to play. You know, I've wanted to try Lisboa. I'm never gonna get the chance to try that game. It's just like never gonna happen.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. There's just some things you're just like, we'll just leave that for everyone else. You know.
Well, like tonight, I had like an hour and a half, I think, available. So I played 3 filler games, and so I got to play more games than if I tried to set up just one heavier game. I've been trying to play Merlin. I got Merlin for like super cheap, and I was so excited to find it.
Is
and
that the Stefan Feld one?
Mm-hmm. I know. I'm so excited. And the person that I bought it from sent me expansion packs that I didn't know about. And I'm like, oh my God, I know. So I haven't had a chance to play it though. And my husband learned all the rules and stuff. And like we keep setting it up. And then by the time I get home and we have dinner and then everything's cleaned up and we're like ready to play, it's like, we're going to bed in an hour. We're not playing Merlin tonight. So
yeah,
you just end up playing the shorter games. I don't know.
Yeah.
How far on the East Coast are you from New York?
Oh, I'm so far.
Damn. Because I want to play Merlin now.
I've been trying. Well, I watched Rado's run through of like he did like a playthrough of it, and I was like, this is super easy. But it looks like because you just like are moving around the board in a circle, and whatever you land on, you do that thing, and you can go. It's like I think you have 2 options. You can go backwards or forwards in a circle, and then you land on a thing, and then you do the thing. And that's pretty much it, is what it appears to be. So that's not hard, but there's so many things going on that you can land on that. And then you have all the setup. There's a lot of pieces of the game.
It sounds like you just described Talisman. You go around and do the thing, and then things happen, and there's a lot of stuff to set up.
Yeah.
What's the game that has like the gears and they rotate?
Zulkin?
Yes. I've been wanting to try that game. I've never played it, but I just like those gears thing. And I was like, that's interesting. No? You haven't played it either?
What game, Dan?
Zulkin, the Mayan calendar.
Oh.
I've had it in my collection for 2.5 years. You want to know how many times I played it?
Is that on your stack, Dan?
It's not even a stack. A stack would imply that it would just be able to go straight up and down, and that's all.
Is that on your
shelf.
multiple piles?
Yes, it is. It is on the foundation of this house of shame.
Yeah, he has a calyx that's devoted to the games he has not played yet.
I mean, there's no lights over it, like it's always in shadows and everything.
Yeah, it's like Indiana Jones has to discover it first before you can actually play it.
I just cleaned up my board game geek list, and I was like, so I got like 230 games, including like 20 expansions maybe, and there's got to be like 50 to 60 of those that I have not played yet. And there's like maybe 15 that are still in shrink wrap.
Oh,
so I'm just like,
I am going to quick throw this out there since we're just randomly spitballing topics and everything. I actually heard on another show recently, they were talking about like how FOMO dominates the board game industry. What do you guys think? Do you think it's pretty much true? I mean, to me, it seems almost unquestionable with Kickstarters and everything else lately.
See, I think there's like 2 parts to the board game industry. There's the ones where like we just all know each other. And then there's the other group that just goes and plays board games. And they have no idea who designers are. They don't really care about who the publisher is. They just play a game and they enjoy the game. And then they get another game and they enjoy that game. So I think it just depends on which group you belong to if the FOMO applies to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the question is the group that just goes and plays the game, how many do you think they buy a year? Do you think they have a 700 game collection on BGG? Or do you think they buy like a new game every 6 months?
They probably don't know what BGG is.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like if you...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think if you know what BGG is, FOMO is a part of your life.
A little bit, if any.
Maybe.
So do you think you can be both of those? Do you think you can be like in the middle of that category though?
Maybe. Like anything's possible, right?
Because I think I'm one of those.
Yeah, because you are still learning a lot about certain things, but you're also like, who designed this? I don't know. I'll play it. You know?
Except that today I was proud of myself for pulling out no, they don't design that. That's by this person. I did that at work today. I was like, no, they don't do that. I'm like, I know they don't because we talked to so-and-so on the podcast about this and that. And I was like, Kurt, I did something today.
I'm board game smart today.
Yeah, that wasn't cool work related. Or not cool. That was cool and not work related. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But I think I'm in the middle because I feel like I creep into the trying to know the stuff, but at the same time, I guess I don't necessarily care all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny because it just kind of happens.
Yeah.
At least for me, it just kind of happened.
Well, and I know BGG too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, but
yeah.
But how many games are on your shelf of shame?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, but we do actually open ours and then we attempt to play them and then we are like, we're done.
Yeah, like Spirit Island. Like, here, let's open this up. Let's put it out. Oh, wait. It's too late now. We'll put it back together. Oh, wait. Here's Wasteland Express. Oh, it took us an hour and a half to put it together. Well, it's too late now.
In only 45 minutes to play it once we ended up playing it.
Time to eat my porridge and go to bed. Yeah, it's just
porridge.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that what old people eat? I don't know. Maybe.
But yeah, it just ours isn't as big as yours. It doesn't hold up our house.
Genetics.
See, I don't think I fall into either one of those, and maybe it's again because I'm newer to board games since we started the podcast a handful of years ago. Because I'll see the greatest thing this thing has come out and everybody's talking about it, and I see it all over Twitter, and I'll make a note, I'll write it down. I'm like, well, what makes that game interesting? Like, why are people talking about this particular game? Because not every game is for everybody. Like, our mystery guest was raging about Santorini, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's okay.
It's so good.
I wound up picking it up because it was on the pre-owned table at my local game store, and I like it. I enjoy it. It's good. I like if I have a category at all, it's abstract, completely abstract.
Oh yeah.
So like it was fine. Like it fit right in, but there wasn't. In seeing pictures and kind of like reading the description, there wasn't anything that was like, I have to get it. Like everybody's getting it. I have to get it. I'm kind of plodding a little slower. I do my research. I watch some playthrough videos. I talk to people. And, I'll buy, more than a game every 6 months. I was just at the store and I'm like, nope, I'm not buying anything. I'm not buying anything. But like I go in like fully loaded. And I know what I'm going to get usually when I go. So yeah, the hype about things doesn't necessarily rub off on me, when I look at stuff.
See, and I pick up on the hype. And so, like, you gave the example of Santorini, and I picked up on the hype, and I was like, oh, we got to get it. We got to get it. And we got it at Gen Con last year, and I don't like it. Sorry, Wyatt. I don't care for it. Like, I don't think it's because it's an abstract game, but maybe we just haven't played it enough. But I thought, this game is boring.
It's very take that.
See, I like stuff like that. I'm like very alpha gamer, want to win, and it's and depending on who you're like, we play at work a lot. We play at lunch. We get about an hour, and we do like Cassie, like you were saying, a lot of light games. We you can do Seven Wonders or Splendor or Lotus or any number of things, and we enjoy that. We play a lot of the same stuff over and over again. Today was the first time I got to play Sagrada, which is interesting. And it's like, okay. And I remember it was on Kickstarter and I almost backed it. And I was like, I don't know. Cause maybe not. So I borrowed it from the guy. So I have it for the weekend. So we're going to try to I'm trying to get my daughter to play with her boyfriend and, kind of see. Cause for me, it's it's the strategy. It's like that one-on-one. It's like, I'm going to beat you. Like, how can I best manipulate? Like that's what gets it for me when I play.
Do you like solo games?
I don't. Because there's I can't compete against anybody.
Yeah, he can't win against somebody and say, ha ha!
But even when the game has like something on it, it'll say, beat the score or whatever. Or sometimes there'll be an AI character that you have to compete against.
It doesn't
it's not the
scratch
same.
that itch. No, it doesn't scratch that itch. And it's a social thing too. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
He sits in the mirror with the card of the person. And he's like, "Yes, I've bested you." You know.
He actually
I
just
think it
needs
is-
to drink their tears to survive.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, this is delicious."
Yeah.
It is a social thing though too. We haven't really gotten into playing solo games necessarily. I mean, I'll play games on, phone or something like that. But you sat at the table one day and we're playing a solo game, and I thought, what are you doing? Because he's never doing that.
Wait.
He's always playing a game with me. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, playing a game.
Is that when you sent me that picture and you just captioned it, "What a loser"? Is that?
I think it was. It actually might have had more words than "what a loser," but we'll give him another chance. We'll keep him around for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm of the same ilk. It's hard for me to play solo games. Like it has to be something that really is gonna grab my attention and really, suck me in. Like the game she's talking about is Desolate by Jason Glover, and and like that game, just the art itself and like just being trying to escape from the aliens and stuff like that. I was like, God, that sounds like fun, and plus it's like super cheap too. Well, to me it seemed pretty cheap, and it's supporting someone who's an indie game company and stuff like that. So I was like, that'd be kind of fun to do, My first foray into it was Sans Allies, and I'm blanking out on who makes it right now. We talked to them. I forget.
Don't ask me.
But anyway,
I know who you're talking about, and I'm also blanking.
Yeah, and that's more of like a war game that is a one-player game, and I am not a big fan of war games at all. I thought I would just be like, this is stupid, but the way that he did it, like it was kind of almost like a pyramid thing where you have to kind of get to the top or whatever. I was like, wow, that's actually really cool, and it's like, it for me, it has a solo game really has to capture my attention because for me too, it's also a social thing. It's like, I want to have that interaction, I want to do that whole thing where it's like, I stopped you from doing that, or like, oh, that was kind of fun, wasn't it, that we did that or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of, it makes me laugh thinking when John's talking to Best, the other player, like literally everything about his personality that I've seen so far has not gotten me to that area. So I'm like, hearing that from him is like, what, really? You seem like such the backseat kind of guy, like, okay, we'll just go with the flow. The fact that you're just like, I must defeat you, it just makes me laugh.
Well, the flip side of that, it's kind of funny because the one guy at work has not been a board gamer, and when he started, we're like, hey, we play games, if you're interested, if you want to play, and he's like, sure, I'll check it out, So we started him with Splendor, and kind of drug him in, and he was out with me this weekend. We were at a martial art card game tournament for one of our local designers here in Tucson. And he had a great time, and like we'll play stuff, and I'll be like, okay, you know what you should do in this situation, right? And he's like, no. And I'm like, all right, well, if you do this, this, and this, then you can, it'll put you in this position and whatever. And he's like, oh, okay. So it hurts because I want to help him, but I want to beat him, but like he's not a board gamer, so like I know he doesn't necessarily like see the connections, especially if we're playing something he hasn't played before. So I'm always like, all right, well, if you want me to tell you, so.
John, you got to let the calf grow into an elk. This way, when you take it down for the kill, it's more satisfying.
Right.
Except for if Dan was playing Splendor with them, he'd just flip the table on them.
Are you not a Splendor fan?
I would feed him everything he needs to win to just race towards the end of that game. I'd be like, here, you can use my chips too. Take everything for these money.
That's one of the first games that I got in on, and I was able to order it. I got it on eBay to get the original Faro core chips because I saw it at Target. And I'm like, wow, $35. I'm gonna grab it. And I got home. I opened up the first pack of chips, and I'm like, that's not right. I opened up another pack, and I'm like, what the hell? So I went on BGG, and I'm like, Splendor chips, blah blah blah, and it was a whole thing where they changed the design, and I'm like, well, shit. So I took it back, and I found it on eBay for like, God, I want to say it was like $15, best $15 I ever spent. We play that game so much.
Have you played Century Spice Road?
I have, and I didn't like it as much because so I played it like twice at a con, and it's similar, but it's not the same. I felt like you had less agency in Century Spice Road. Like I have a card that gives me the yellow. I can pick up my cards, and I didn't like it as much. I always felt like I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do.
Really, I always felt like I had a little more control in Century because at least because the one thing that I despise in Splendor, and it's almost like something that you see in a lot of deck builders is, I'm going to take that card just because it's something that I can actually afford. And then the greatest thing in the world comes out that your opponent can exactly afford. And you're like, sweet, I just fed you a better mind and 2 victory points. This game is awesome.
Well, I mean, I guess, right? But it's all about building the engine. So, I mean, there is some randomness to it. I mean, we play a ton, and you know, I win probably more often than not. I played Splendor at a con and just got trounced. And I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm pretty good. We play this game a lot. And it was just like, boom, 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 guys, 15 points. You're done. It's like, holy crap.
Get the app and play against the hardest AI. That's how you learn how to play games better.
Yeah.
I finally won my first game of Potion Explosion after I always lost when I played local. Playing against a computer, I mean, they are bloodthirsty murderers.
They hammer you. They hammer you.
It's so much fun, though.
There is a new person in the room, Kurt.
Yeah,
There's our special guest with some weird mask. Hey, you're not going to murder us, are you?
Oh, hey.
I thought it was Finn Balor for a second.
If we're going to be late, come on with a grand entrance, right?
There you go.
So we were just plotting how we're going to destroy capitalism. So what's your thoughts, Sean? If you can give us some elaborate details on what your ideas are on this.
Well, let's talk about the 18th century marketplace, and we'll go from there.
Oh, we've lost all our viewers. All right, good night, Sean.
Awesome.
It's Sean Epperson from Think 12 Games. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Better late than never, right?
Indeed.
Oh, Seattle.
Might as well just put that in front of every episode we have.
MFGCast, it's something we do.
It's a living, right?
I wish it was, right?
So we were actually discussing a little bit of bloodthirsty nature.
Cool.
John, I was actually curious about something because you did mention playing Sagrada. Have you gotten a chance to play the other in that realm game, Azul?
I have played Azul, and I kind of feel the same way. I like it, and I've played it, and I enjoy playing it. I haven't picked it up because I need to play more. Because again, it's all about trying to figure out the best strategy and how do you play with other people. We play, there's 3 of us. We play all the time, so you kind of figure out how other people play. So it kind of changes the way the game is a little bit. And when you play with different people, you're like, oh crap, I wouldn't have done it that way. Or I know this guy wouldn't have done this thing. I should have another turn before I need to do that.
Have you played it at 2 players?
I have, yeah. Yeah, we've done 2 and 3.
That game is like a knife fight in an elevator at 2 players.
It's right up John's alley.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Oh, wait, there's 14 reds in this draw? Damn it. Well.
Cassie, I saw your eyes go wide for a second. Have you gotten a chance to play Azul?
No, not yet. But I know about the recent controversy with the new version coming out. But I keep hearing that they're similar, but they're really not the same. And I hear that the draft mechanics they're different. But like I said, I've not played Azul, so I don't know exactly the difference. But I have played Sagrada plenty of times, and I enjoyed it. So I'll probably enjoy Azul just because I like that kind of puzzly. It gives me that Sudoku feeling when I play Sagrada. So I'm sure Azul will be something similar. From what I hear about it, at least.
Yeah, it's all those games are all in the realm of abstract.
Yeah.
And I feel like and I've talked about this in the past. I feel like abstract is all of a sudden just making this big splash. Like all of a sudden it's just like abstract. Just everything is kind of abstract-y. Like we played Dragon Castle, like that's supposedly a abstract game pulled from Mahjong or whatever. And man, I'll tell you what. There's a game after 2 plays. I'm like, well, this is a game. I'm like,
no, that was after 1 play. He was. We weren't even done with the first game. He was pissed.
Was he getting his ass handed to him again, Trace?
Yes. Yeah, he was, Dan. Yes.
And the thing is,
he was losing.
And the thing is that's not me either. Like I.
No, it was just making you really angry. Like he was so mad.
Man, that first game was just so literally. I just she's like, you weren't talking at all. Like I'm usually a talkative guy, So she's like, I know because you're not talking, something is wrong.
Yeah, was it you or the game?
Well, the second game wasn't as bad. We played it again, and you weren't as angry.
I wasn't as angry. I still hated it, but I still wasn't as angry.
You still hated it?
I don't know what it is. I'll have to play. I will give it more of a shot. But
I did win again, so not as bad though.
Maybe it's one of those things where it's like, you think of Dragon Castle, you're like, oh, it's going to be this amazing, structure. And I look at mine and go, this is tiny. This is like ants are living in this Dragon Castle. I'm like, the dragons will not be pleased today because they will not be able to fit a toenail.
Just pretend they're very big tiles and that you're a giant.
Yes, that's true.
So you're just mad because you're not good at it, just like Sean's not good at Azul.
Yeah, I get routinely worked over by my wife. She just kicks my butt all the time. She's really, really competitive too, which fits in well with my family. And she actually tracks her wins and losses against me.
Oh, wow.
This game. It's literally on the refrigerator, like, by 1.
Oh, no.
It's another half part.
Don't ever do that.
No, my eyes, he's talking about it, my eyes went.
Yeah, I know. Literally,
brutal.
I would cry. My eyes, yeah.
So does she actually track her losses, or does she only track the times that
she because she's tracking her wins, I track mine versus her. So it's like whenever we play together, that's the only time she tracks. Now, she's not that way with other people. When it's me, she just goes for the jugular.
Oh, jeez. Kicks you right in the throat.
Yeah. That's a great way to start a game group. Hey, guys, look at the tote board. I have lots of wins. You have none. What happened,
Would
guys?
you like to play with me today? Look at how good I have this game.
Yeah. What would you like to fail at today?
You have a chance to win because I have not been doing very good.
She's not really a gamer either. That's the kind of crazy thing. Like, she's kind of a casual gamer. There's like 3 or 4 games that she'll like to play, and that's kind of it. She doesn't really want to venture out to anything different, or doesn't like learning new games all the time. Like, if you find something she likes, like, that's what I want to play, this thing. And she knows Azul, and that's just what she wants to keep playing a lot, and just likes that, there's enough interaction between players to that drafting mechanic that, I think that makes it kind of interesting for her. And we've got my daughter in there a couple of times. My daughter just destroyed us with like 136 points or something ridiculous. Yeah, it was just, what is going on?
Yeah, I feel like kids in general are like that. Like Logan will do that to us every once in a while. I'd be like, "How do you do that?" It's just like it just creams us and stuff, and you're like, dude, you're like, we've had lots of years on you. I don't know how you're doing this.
Oh my goodness, there's the dog.
He agrees.
Lisa has joined the show.
So, Sean, you can't get her. You can't pull her in with something like tangentially related. So, like, if she likes Azul, you can't get her to try Sagrada, which is kind of in the same ballpark.
I might be able to. It's
beautiful too. So It's like, you want to play with it.
I don't know. It would be a challenge. There's a couple other games that she likes that I'm really surprised about, and I really have no idea. She's a puzzle wrapped in an enigma. Every time I think like, oh, well, you like this thing, then you would like this other thing. Like, nope, she doesn't like that other thing at all. Like what? Like one of the other games that she likes is Tides of Madness. the Cthulhu themed game, right?
Yeah.
And whenever she wants to play, she's like, "Oh, go get the Squid Game." Like, oh, okay, I'll go get the Squid Game.
That's awesome.
At least you know what she's talking about.
Exactly. Oh my god.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's like introducing games to my family, like my dad and my sister and stuff like that. It's like sometimes it's like pulling teeth, you know. It's like, okay, this is gonna win them over. I just know it, and they're like, no, you know, like let's play cards again. Okay, fine, we'll play cards again, you know, or like, you know, like oh, and then I'll pull something out thinking like maybe it'll be kind of stupid fun, but they won't care. Like the Click Clack Lumberjack from Mayday Games. All of a sudden, they're just like, "Oh my god, this is the best thing ever!" Oh, you know, it's like,
Did you bring that game over again? No.
Yeah. Did you bring the wood game again? Yeah,
No.
not this time. You know,
We hate every other game, but we want you to bring games every time.
yeah, exactly. They're like, "You're the guys that have games, right? Yes, games that you guys will never play. So why are we doing this?"
We can tell you shut down as soon as we start explaining anything to you.
my sister gets like that. All of a sudden, just glassy.
Literally. Yep. Literally,
like,
her eyes might as well shut.
And she's a smart person. I don't know why she like all of a sudden it's just like I can't do it.
It's
like
not her
brain
thing.
locks
It's
or
just
something.
not her thing.
Yeah. Oh,
Jeez.
I know. Crazy.
My parents are like that too. We'll try to. I'll bring like light games over, like Lotus and Splendor, and they're just like, maybe we'll try it. And then it's like, hey, do you want it? No, don't bring those anymore. I don't want it.
My parents would be like that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So we play Pinochle because I'm like 100 years old. I can get them to do that, so we do that.
Pinochle.
That's funny.
I know like
that
to
makes
play backgammon. That's like our family traditional game. Is my dad is always down to play backgammon, but
That's cool.
yeah, isn't it? And he has, like he'll get like the fancy set and stuff, and it looks like a little suitcase, and you tote it around with you. It's so cute, though.
That's what I always thought of backgammon. I've never played that myself, but I remember like my grandpa had like the suitcase backgammon. I always thought that was fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Old people games.
Yeah.
No.
I always wondered if some of it is so the older you get, it's harder to make those new connections within your brain. So it's easier to lean on something that you know and you're familiar with. So it's less of a struggle to learn something new. It's not that you can't, but it's just like, well, I know how to do this thing, so I can play to the best of my ability and not have to struggle through and trying to kind of like form these new connections and figure this other thing out.
Like you're afraid to not get it.
Yeah.
When I'm teaching newer games to like my parents, I'll try to use terminology, like this would be like an ace card, even though it's, it's not like a normal deck of cards, but it's like, so, and then you have to play it in try to compare to poker whenever I can, and just things that they're used to. And then it's like this, but it's just different colors and different art. And then, but it's not, but eventually they are like tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that stuff is hard, especially like sometimes like I know for a fact that like when I try to teach games, sometimes I have trouble like explaining things clearly. So it's like when it comes to stuff like that, when I know I'm already in the hole, it's like, okay, get this right, get it right, just say everything how it's supposed to be, and then they're like, I don't get it. You're like, oh God, let's go through it again,
Always
and then
start with how you win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes too. Like if you play a game a lot and you know how it plays and you're trying to explain it, and sometimes you just forget things because you just take for granted that you do this, this, and this, and it just doesn't come through. And then when you do that, they're like, "Wait, what are you doing?" And like, you do this and this. You didn't say that.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah, it's like when you go to the doctor and they're throwing out all these things and what do you call that when you put like letters together like FML?
They're
like
acronyms.
Acronyms, and you're like, I have no clue what that means. Speak to me in regular English so I know what's going on. Am I dying or am I not dying? That would be a good start.
I think one of the things too is just like for like a lot of non-gamers though, if you're going on about a rule set and they don't know what's going on, they have no idea how much longer it's going to take for them to be lost. You know, it's like when somebody's explaining something that you're somewhat familiar with, you can get an idea of the flow. But if you're explaining, like, you know, whatever, like all right, the Pathfinder card game, and you're like, okay, you're going to go to these areas, and they're like, okay. And it's like, all right, you're going to explore it. You're going to turn over the top card of the deck. All right, I think I follow. Then you're going to check out your stats, and then you're going to be able to play cards that'll be modifiers to add to the dice pool, and now they're lost. And it's like, when you're lost in that, every second feels like an eternity. So when you're like, and furthermore, another person can play another card like a blessing to add to your dice pool, and they're like, let's just play blackjack. I understand that. Let's break out Uno. I know how Uno plays. And then, you know, it just shuts it down. It's sometimes hard because nobody wants to try something new and feel like they're stupid while they're doing the new thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's like one of the biggest barriers of entry for like when you're trying to get that first time game in for something outside of somebody's comfort zone.
Right.
There's Feudum. I don't know if you've heard about the horror stories of teaching that game. People that I know that have taught it said it usually clocks in around 45 minutes, maybe an hour, just to teach the game.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Like, that's brutal. Like I at that point, I'm like, I love the art in the game and it looked interesting, but at that point, I'm like, I'm out. I don't want to spend 45 minutes learning how to play a game. I would rather play 2 games at that amount of time or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's enough trying to play a 2-hour game, you know, or a 1-hour game, but just to learn it and then go into it that way. It's like, oh.
Right. And now we can start. Like, oh my Lord, really?
And we would have thrown in the towel.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel with like Arkwright and games like that, where it's like these games that look absolutely amazing, and at the same time, it's like sending like, you know, shudder down my spine going, all right, I'm gonna have to try to figure this out, learn it on my own, and then successfully get someone to play this with me.
I like the idea of if it's reasonable to do it, to just have like a turn or two that are completely throwaway. Like, okay, we're gonna jump into this, we're gonna play through a couple of rounds, and then we'll reset, and everybody will kind of know how the flow of things work as we're kind of like explaining as we go. That's one option of way to kind of like teach a little heavier stuff like that.
What kills me is I've tried that multiple times, and everyone I know is like, no, we'll just play it through. And then if like they get trounced, they're like, oh, well, I don't know how I feel about that one. It's like, why didn't you just take this all the way around?
Right.
Like Kurt might love Dragon Castle if he could have just played 5 rounds and said, okay, we're starting over right now.
Who's gonna play Dragon Castle with me?
I'm in.
Because I like it, Dan.
Awesome.
Dan,
Okay.
are you gonna come to Wisconsin?
We can also play on Skype. It might be cheaper.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh, are you guys going to Protospiel Madison?
Are we going to what?
Protospiel Madison.
When is that?
I think it's the end of November.
Yeah, I think we had talked about it because
We did.
Yeah, because Mike asked if we were going to that. Mike from Fairway 3 Games, which if
Wocash.
yeah, poor Wocash, he was supposed to be on tonight, and he's on a trip, so he better not to text and drive, I guess. So or
Talk and drive.
stream and drive.
Yeah, stream and drive.
Mhm, exactly.
Maybe we did talk about that.
Yeah, it might be something we could do because November is usually not fun.
You're gonna go?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. We'll definitely.
Yeah. I know like the Game Crafter, I think, is part of like hosting it, right? I think it's a yeah. So I want to meet all of those people, and I just know a lot of people. And I'm like with the Indie Game Report, I've never met Mike. I've actually never talked to him verbally. So I was like, oh, he's gonna be on the podcast. That's awesome. And then of course he's the only one that's not here. It's like, oh, there you go.
She's like, screw you guys. I want to talk to you.
Right. So I think like I just want to go and like socialize. So but
yeah,
like,
that isn't very far away. We're actually going to Madison this weekend.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Do
not
it
very
up.
far for us at all. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely. So I have a question, just because I saw on Sean's feed that you got to play Villainous, and it's crazy. Like like how all of a sudden like Target is getting all these exclusives that people are actually clamming for. You know, before it was kind of like, oh, here's another thing of Cards Against Humanity, or like, oh, here's another thing of this, you know, and it's like, okay, like, you know, I could get that just about anywhere, and there's no like, oh, I really need this, you know, where like especially with this game, like it seems like everybody just super gaga goo goo over it, you know. So what did you think about that game?
I really liked it. The production value is really good. It's a thick box. The card quality is really nice. It's not linen cards, but they're still like thick material. The player pieces that you're using on your board, it's sort of like this action selection game. The boards that you have, your player boards, are really thick. Really nice art. It's not like just kind of recycled from cartoons or whatever. You've got these big chunky plastic pieces that are your character avatars that you're moving around on your board. And there's a lot of like interaction with players. So you're kind of doing your own thing, but you're watching what the other players doing, because you can kind of screw with them by sending heroes to kind of like muck up their work and stop them from doing stuff. Yeah, I was really impressed with it. And I think so that game and the Jurassic Park game, Danger.
What is it? Jurassic Park Danger?
Yeah, Jurassic Park Danger. Both of those are essentially from the same company. Villainous is by Wonderforge, and before that they were called something else, and I'm slipping my mind. But I know a couple of people that are working there as designers, and they're definitely people that are like very much in the hobby. They one of the guys, Chris Rollins, actually put out a game prior to going to work there. So they're very much like indie gamers and into all that kind of stuff. And I can see how they're bringing that sort of mentality, that sort of indie vibe into what they're working on with these licensed games, which is really cool. And I think that's why they're doing really well, because they've taken like, here's this indie design headspace, and we're going to marry that with, our IP, our ability to have these wide IPs and be able to get into places like Target and stuff like that.
Yeah. So what's the whole thing about Villains? Is it just you thwarting the heroes? Is that what it's about?
Yeah, so everybody plays as one of the villains, right? So you are Captain Hook. You are what's her name? What's that?
Maleficent.
Maleficent is one of them. The Queen of Hearts. So there's like 5 or 6 different villains that you're playing as, and you are you have asymmetric goals in the game as well. Ooh. So like I was playing as Prince John, the scrawny lion, and my goal was to acquire 20 power tokens, which is basically like a currency in the game. And so I'm doing my thing by moving around this board, taking kind of special unique actions. The other player was playing as Ursula, and Ursula's thing was she had to get the trident and I think the crown into like her lair, one of the places on her board. Mm-hmm. So each player like has their own special thing that they're trying to do, and then there are certain spots on the board that will let you basically take one of the players' hero decks, and you draw 2 of the cards. You take a look and see which one you want to play, and you play it on to one of their areas. And then the heroes do different things, like they prevent you from taking actions in that spot. They can stop you from doing things like because Prince John is all about acquiring lots of money, essentially, right? He's trying to get all the gold. His main nemesis, of course, is the fox, Robin Hood. And Robin Hood's thing is he makes you score less gold each round that you're getting gold. And he's a total jerk. It was such a pain in the butt. There's so many times like, I'm so close to winning, but stupid, bring the foxes out here, being a jerk. So like it was just really cool, like how much interaction there was between players, like the decisions that you had to make where you were going to go, because you couldn't keep going to the same spot each time. Do I want to go here and do this thing? Because I need to stop him from doing his thing, this is going to let me draw one of the hero cards on them and play it on them, or do I want to go over here and deal with these guys that are kind of mucking up my work, so it's stopping me? So it's really cool game. I really dig it a lot.
Yeah, Kim is looking forward to this one a lot, like Because I think it's supposed to hit like regular stores this month, actually, right? Like middle of this month, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's what did you say? Like coming up soon, in a couple of weeks, if not already.
Yeah, it does look very, very nice. And I mean, this is one of the few games where you get to play as the evil side. So I'm on board already for that.
The other one that they did, the Jurassic Park Danger, that was a lot of fun as well. The one versus many style game where you're literally, playing as the T-Rex and the Velociraptor and a couple of the other dinosaurs, or you have everyone else basically playing the main heroes on the board, trying to blockade off the dinosaurs and get the heck off the island in time. That was really good. Like, even there's like a little bit of player elimination, but you're never eliminated from the game. You just bring in a new hero and start at a specific spot. They've all got abilities that kind of tie back into what their characters are in the movie.
Is what is the win condition though? Like, do they have to like just kill enough of the characters that the people can't spawn anymore, or is it
the dinosaurs are basically just trying to make it so if you can't bring out another hero, then the game's over. And heroes are just trying to we gotta get off the island.
If you can kill 3 movies worth of people, you.
Both of these are Target exclusives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they even have a deal online right now that if you're not, well, it says if you're not going to Gen Con or whatever, but it's basically their Gen Con special where if you put in Gen Con, you get like 10% off or something like that.
Aww.
So they're really trying to get people to get those games, which is cool.
I think they did that last year too.
Yeah, I think.
I remember when we got back from Gen Con was it last year that we went to Gen Con?
Yep.
That we even looked, even though we bought a ton of stuff from Gen Con.
We're like, let's get
not
more.
really sure why we were looking.
Yeah.
I don't remember what they were. Well, yeah, I know, right? We hadn't spent enough money yet.
All right.
Lord.
So I think we're getting about time to wrap it up just because it's getting late on other people's coast here. So I thought we could play a fun little game that I made up. And my games are usually pretty terrible, but I thought it'd still be fun to do. You're not supposed to look.
I can't read it. I can't read it.
Sure.
Seriously. Is it the handwriting?
Yeah, she wouldn't be able
he
to
wrote
see
it in pencil, and he has chicken scratchings.
That's
so
right.
I am at a disadvantage.
That's right.
Trying to cheat and mouth words to you guys.
So if it's okay with you guys, I'd like to play a game called A Case of the Reiners.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
So this game is.
I'm sorry.
I can't hear.
I'm sorry.
I'm deaf.
I'm trying to hold the dog so he doesn't bark. And I think he's going to.
Yeah. So basically, this is a game where you decide if this game is either made by Rainer Knizia, Rainer Stockhausen, Dr. Rainer Kober, or none.
What if we've never heard of any of these people?
Well, then you have a 25% chance.
Is anyone else with me on this one?
I've heard of A, but not B or C.
Can you repeat them again?
Yeah, Rainer Knizia, Rainer Stockhausen, Dr. Rainer Kober, or none.
Okay.
Did you make all these names up?
Yep, I did.
Cool.
Because anybody could be named Rainer and make tons of games.
Are any of them made by Rob Reiner?
No, they aren't.
Okay. Just thought I'd check.
Or Carl Reiner.
Or Carl Reiner. Carl Reiner. Okay.
All right. So I've got everybody's names written in order here, and I'll kind of go. I'll pick one, and then I'll go through the options or whatever. Unfortunately, we have 5 people here, so one person will be left out for one of the rounds, and then I'll give you points. And then
you can just leave me out.
No, you never know.
Oh.
The sun shines on a dog's butt every once in a while.
Is that
guess what? I would, yeah.
That is a weird thing that I've never heard him say before.
You know,
My
sometimes
grandma has been saying that for years.
All right, so here we go.
Wow.
Again, I made this up, and I know I would fail at it.
Are we going to play Pinochle after this?
No, we're not playing Pinochle
When the
afterwards.
sun's shining on our
I just got to know,
All right.
Tracy, I do miss us being able to buzz in with our special sounds. That was the best trivia game.
It was. I don't know what my sound was, but I could come up with something, I'm sure.
All right, so we're going to start with Cassie.
Okay.
Oh, man. No
Cassie,
pressure.
Who made the game Crazy Kick?
I'm going with the doctor.
That is incorrect. John.
Okay.
It's the second one. Stockholm, whatever it is.
The Stockholm Syndrome?
Yep.
Isn't that it?
Rainer Stockhausen is correct.
Stockhausen. See? I knew it.
Crazy Kick is a game about soccer.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very little is written on it, so I'm sure it's one of his first.
Hi.
Well,
All
I
right.
was close.
Yep, exactly.
Good try, though, Cassie.
All right, Sean. We'll go with the next one is for you. It's Moria. Was it done by Rainer Knizia, Rainer Stockhausen, Dr. Rainer Kober, or none?
I want to say that's Knizia.
You are incorrect. Tracy, who made
Can you spell it for me?
Moorea? Moria.
None of them.
You are incorrect.
Darn it!
Dan.
I thought you were gonna throw.
I'm going to go with C.
Is
The
he also
good
incorrect?
You go with Dr. Rainer Kober?
Yeah, that's the one.
Incorrect.
Oh my gosh!
Cassie.
By
Which one
default.
did she-
Yeah, right. I'm going with Stockholm.
Also incorrect, believe it or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not Stockholm.
Rainer Stockhausen is correct.
Back to John.
Yep. Moria is a game about collecting wood and bamboo to build canoes, huts, or try to make the longest necklace of seashells.
I do that every day at work. It's not a game.
Ooh, a seashell necklace.
That's right.
It'll be currency in the apocalypse. I'm just.
I should have
banking
known because I just played that game before we got here.
That's right. All right. John, you're up next. Who designed the game Blue Moon?
Oh.
Rainer Knizia, Rainer Stockhausen, Dr. Rainer Kober, or none?
And not the beer, John.
Yeah, no. I want to say none.
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
Sean.
I'm going to go with the wild card. I'm going to say D, none of the above.
I just said that.
That is incorrect.
No, keep that answer.
Nope. We're going to Tracy. Tracy.
Come
on, you were supposed
D.
You're supposed to knock them down for me.
Yeah. Nope. That's the good thing about this game is if people start forgetting, then I'm still
Blue
going past.
Moon, huh?
Blue Moon.
Please choose D.
I'm gonna say the doctor.
Dr. Rainer Kober is incorrect.
Dang.
Dan.
If you picked that first
I
one,
want to go with D so bad.
Go D, Team D, Team D.
But that the John instinct in me is saying go with A.
Rainer Knizia is correct.
Dang! Why don't I go with my first instinct?
I think that was the only one I knew, actually.
Yep. It's a living card game set in the fictional world of Blue Moon where people fight for dominance in the
Perfect.
favor of dragons.
I do that at work every day.
Sure. You do everything.
Did you mark that one down?
Yes, I sure did.
Oh, it's way over there.
All right. Who designed, Cassie, 10 Up?
Her parents.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
Who designed Cassie? You said.
10 up?
Yep.
None of them.
That is incorrect. John.
B, Stockholm.
Incorrect. Sean.
Knizia?
Rainer Knizia is correct.
Really?
I
10 Up.
think I knew that.
Yep, is a game where you need to be the first to stack number tiles in sequence with a twist.
Sounds like number 9. Number 9.
Number 9.
It's actually the sequel. That's why it's 10 up.
Ah,
That's right. All right, Tracy.
Oh man.
Who designed the game Plackstoken?
Why do I get the ones that
Stefan Feld. Say it's Stefan Feld.
none of the above? I'm gonna get it sometime.
That is correct.
Yes!
I made that up. Doesn't that sound like a German game that somebody has made?
It
I was
does.
gonna ask you how to spell
absolutely.
it. I was totally gonna ask you how to spell it too.
Wait a minute.
you
Kurt, if you
pronounce
just made that up, what did I just order from
Plackstoken.
Amazon.de?
That's right.
Plackstoken. Can you tell us what that
Plackstoken.
game's about?
No, I
Oh,
cannot.
Just checking. Just checking.
All right. Everybody is tied with 1 point. So we're going to
Good
go
job,
to the
everybody.
tiebreaker. Okay?
I'm not behind.
Yep. All right. Somebody is technically, Sean, you're going to be screwed out of this unless people forget. All right. Who designed the game Chamundo? Dan. Who designed Chamundo?
I'm going to go with D.
Bold move.
None of the above?
That is correct.
That is incorrect.
I'd like to take the
Cassie.
physical challenge.
Who, me?
Yes.
What's the title again?
Chamundo. Or Chemundo. Chemundo. Is it
Stockhausen?
Rainer Knizia, Rainer Stockhausen, or Dr. Rainer Kober, or none?
Stockhausen?
Incorrect. John.
Is this
for
when
the
the light
win.
turns off?
I'm going to say Reiner Knizia because they've all been Reiner Knizia.
Not everyone's been said. Incorrect.
Damn it.
I think
Oh.
is it my turn?
No, it's Sean's turn.
Come on!
I gotta remember. Let's see. You said that. You said that. Quiet you. We'll go with C.
Dr. Rainer Kober is correct.
Dang it! That was the answer.
That is the only game under Dr. Rainer Kober.
Oh,
It
really?
is a teachware card game in the world of chemistry.
Huh.
I'm intrigued.
Look at us. Look at us. We're all like, should we buy
Yep,
it?
that's right. Everyone's going to BGG right now and looking it up.
Yes.
I'm guessing the CH is a hard like K. It's chemistry, right?
Yeah,
Sorry, we all
Chemundo.
failed you.
No.
It's all right. Sean is our winner.
Oh,
With
come on.
2 whole points.
2 whole points. There was a lot more games, but I thought, gosh, that could just go on forever, and who wants to do that?
I did. Just kidding. I did.
All right. So before we let everybody go, and thank you to everybody for coming, Sean has been very gracious in letting us give away one of his games, and I thought we could do that right now. It's Click, 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 Boom. It's a game that we've played ourselves with our son, and we really much enjoy. And thank you for graciously letting us do that. If you're in the United States, we'll ship it to you for free. But if it's not, then it'll be something that I'll have to pay for. But I'm willing to do that for our fans. So
Aw.
right now, if you go into our chat room on live on the video, or if you tweet it at us, hashtag 200th episode MFGCast, then you will win Click Click Boom.
Woo.
Yeah. And thank you, Sean, for that.
Yeah. Of course.
Also, we're going to give away one of our favorite TMG games. We're going to be giving away. Wow, why all of a sudden do
I was like, were you going to burp?
I know, I had a conniption all of a sudden.
What happened?
Yeah. We'll be giving away Steamworks by Tasty Minstrel Games.
Oh.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So just
Sorry.
through the chat or through Facebook or through Twitter. Just do hashtag Steamworks, and the first person to do that, we'll send that out to you for free, just for staying through this whole thing
or staying classy.
Yes, exactly, and just sticking with us through this whole. Oh
I'm sorry, I'm trying to grab a shoe. I'm trying to grab a shoe to throw at the dog, and it's not working for me.
What'd you throw at him? A piece of candy?
He threw a Mike and Ike at him, and he jumped like it was a spider.
And it literally scared the absolute shit out of him, which was awesome.
Literally went, ooh.
He flipped out of his bed. Poor guy. It's okay, old guy. You'll be all right.
It was just a Mike and Ike.
That's true. It's just a Mike and Ike.
A tropical typhoon, Michael, whatever.
Michael Knight.
Michael Ike.
Now I want
spiraling
some.
out. So
I'm
gonna say thank you to Cassie, thank you to John, thank you for Sean. It's always awesome having you guys on, and thank you for helping us celebrate this.
I was gonna say no thanks to D. Wyatt.
I was gonna say
no. I was gonna say no. No, thank you. I was serious. No, thank you to Dan. See you later, Dan.
I am the rock that sinks the ship.
Oh no!
I wasn't picking on you. I was ripping on Dan.
No, I didn't know.
Okay.
It's
not a joke. If I
felt like I was being attacked. Why am I sweaty? Okay.
Tracy's just mad because she can't beat me in Santorini.
That's true.
I've never played Santorini with you.
Oh
I just speak Kurt. Okay.
That's right. Yep. So until next time, I'm Kurt.
This is Tracy.
This is D. Wyatt.
Thank you, Dan. And this was the MFGCast. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.